I have an aspect of my character that I would consider to be a character flaw. At least for me, I consider it a flaw, something to improve upon. But I do not think that I'm in the minority or that I'm rare in having this, and I would imagine that many of you who will watch this video will be able to relate. So the problem that I have is an overly strong opinion on all sorts of things that really have no effect on my life. It could be something like I might see the way somebody's driving and think very negative things about that person or his or her driving, even though it may or may not be particularly dangerous and it's not dramatically affecting my life. Maybe it's slowing me down and I'll arrive at my destination 5 seconds or 10 seconds later than I expected. It could be seeing someone wearing clothing that I think, why would anyone ever go out in those clothes? Or it could be the most mundane and simple things like, I can't believe those people painted their house that color. What a terrible color. Sometimes it's things that might seem more significant, maybe a political policy that is enacted, a law that is passed, things of that nature. But even in those situations, the grand total of the effect that it's going to have on my life is still usually relatively minimal. And I would say that my reaction, my opinion, and the reaction that wells up within me due to my opinion is much stronger than the situation warrants. So much so that I may find myself, like let's say that I'm in the drive-through line at a fast food restaurant, and the vehicle in front of me or a vehicle somewhere in the line doesn't pull up as far as they can. And that causes people further back in the line to have to wait longer before they can pull up to the speaker and place their order. And I am only barely affected by that, right? In the grand scheme of everything that's going to happen in my life, that is effectively insignificant. And yet I may, in a moment, this doesn't happen every time, but I may in that moment think to myself, some really nasty negative thought about the person in the vehicle who's not pulling up. And that will then translate within me to an anger or a frustration, an anxiety. And these emotions that I not only allow to gain a foothold within me, but then oftentimes I welcome them, right? And I cultivate them and I get on board with them and strengthen them in my mind so that my anger grows or my frustration grows or my anxiety grows. In all of these circumstances, what is growing is unpleasantness and suffering. I am feeling within me an unpleasantness that causes suffering within me. Now, there are 4 simple words that I believe that I can repeat to myself that make such a difference. And it's this: I have no opinion. Because the reality is I don't have to have an opinion. I can look at something that is different than what I would do. They drive differently than I do. They bought a different car than I would buy. They wear different clothes than I would wear. They walk down the aisle at the grocery store in a different way than I would walk. I don't have to have an opinion on that. I can say to myself, I have no opinion. And if I have no opinion, then I have no cause for any sort of emotion to well up within me. And if I don't have an anger or an anxiety or a frustration sort of bubbling up in me and overflowing in a way that causes me to go from being even keeled and feeling fine to being upset, If I can do that, if I can, by simply saying I have no opinion, by reminding myself I don't have to have an opinion, if I can prevent that suffering and that anger and that frustration, why wouldn't I? Imagine bumper stickers. Bumper stickers are put on vehicles usually to say a message, to communicate to other people something that is important to you, something that you believe. You put a bumper sticker on your car because you believe something and you want other people to know that you believe it. Well, surely you have, if you drive much or if you're in vehicles much or around vehicles much, surely you have noticed a bumper sticker that communicates an idea with which you disagree. Now, it is very, I would say, common, at least it is for me. I'm going to assume that maybe it is for many of you, to see such a bumper sticker that gives a message that you disagree with, and then all of a sudden to begin to think negative thoughts. You have an opinion on the statement that's being made by the bumper sticker, and it is a negative opinion. And then, of course, you will translate the bumper sticker to the person who chose to put the bumper sticker on the car, the driver, let's say. Now you have a negative opinion of the driver, a person whom you've never met in your life. And now you may be thinking about the cause that exists behind the statement of the bumper sticker, right? You may begin thinking there's a whole movement of people who think what this bumper sticker is communicating. And then you begin to think about the frustration or the anger that causes you, that there's a whole group of people out there trying to promote an idea with which you disagree. Maybe you begin to feel anxiety in the pit of your stomach because you're thinking to yourself, and if these people are able to successfully push through their agenda, that will have a negative consequence on me or my children or future generations or the people that I care about. And now you're angry, you're frustrated, you're scared, you're filled with anxiety, all because you saw a bumper sticker. And guess what? 10 seconds before you saw that bumper sticker, you were fine. And 10 seconds before you saw that bumper sticker was still on that car. Nothing in the world changed even one iota because you saw the bumper sticker. The person still had the bumper sticker on their car before you saw it. The person still believed whatever he or she believed before you saw the bumper sticker. And the movement that existed behind the message of that bumper sticker already existed, and you knew it exists, right? You're just not thinking about it because it isn't impacting your life. And 5 seconds after you saw the bumper sticker, guess what? It still isn't impacting your life. At least not in any way that it already wasn't. But now you find yourself filled with anger or anxiety, fear, whatever it may be. And those emotions well up within you. And they affect your mood. They affect your day. They take you from feeling good or happy or everything's okay or I'm not particularly focused on any problem. And now all of a sudden they've taken you to a place of, no, there is this problem. There's this big problem out there and I need to think about it and I need to focus on it and I need to dwell on it and I need to feel anxiety in the pit of my stomach and I need to be angry and I am now suffering and I wasn't suffering 5 seconds ago. But you know what you could do? You could see the bumper sticker, and it doesn't mean that you have to suddenly change all of your political philosophy and say, now I agree with it. No, but you could just say, I have no opinion. I know you have an opinion on the whole movement, but you don't have to have an opinion on that guy who's driving that car. You don't have to have an opinion on the fact that that bumper sticker is on that car or the words that it says. You can let it go. You can just say, I have no opinion, and move on, and remain just as blissfully happy as you were before you saw it. You can be just as content after the person doesn't pull up in the drive-thru as you were before you noticed that the person wasn't pulling up in the drive-thru. You can be just as blissfully content after you notice the person driving poorly as you were 5 seconds before you saw the person driving poorly, because you don't have to internalize that, have an opinion on it, and then allow emotions to flow up within you that are born out of that opinion. You don't need to even have an opinion at all. It is perfectly okay to not care how people drive. I mean, yes, if they're driving crazy recklessly and, running over people, that's one thing. But the fact that they don't drive quite as perfectly as you think they should, it's perfectly okay to have no opinion on that. To have no opinion on what color people paint their houses, no opinion on what clothes people wear, no opinion on how they comb their hair or don't comb their hair, no opinion on what food they like or don't like. You don't have to have an opinion on a myriad of different topics. In fact, you are required to have almost no opinions at all. It is okay, and it is more than okay. It is blissfully freeing when you can look at situations that once upon a time would have caused you anger or anxiety and simply say, I have no opinion, and move on. 4 words that have not completely revolutionized my life yet because I have not completely internalized this entire process. I'm sharing it with you as someone who is still trying to work this into my life completely. But 4 words that are slowly revolutionizing my life and giving me peace in situations where I previously experienced suffering, anxiety, anger, and frustration. Thank you so much for watching. Please click like if you found this useful, entertaining, or informational. Please subscribe if you have not already. And if you've been watching my channel and you feel like you are benefiting from it, would you please consider making a financial donation so that I have the ability and the time to make more of these videos, which I hope are benefiting you. And if you want to do that, there will be a link in the description below that you can go to do that. Thank you so much, and have an awesome day. Bye now.